All right, welcome back to another episode of the VENDO podcast. Super excited today. I'm joined by Justine Van Buren, who is the GM over all of Marketplace Home for Walmart.com. Justine, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Darren.
You're very welcome. Excited to dive in. We're at the Walmart Marketplace Seller Summit, the first one. Very excited to dive in with multiple sellers here this week. But before we get started, we'd love to learn a little bit about you. So tell us about yourself, your background.
Yeah, thanks. So I actually started at Walmart as an intern, wild to say, almost 10 years ago now.
Wow.
And I came here because I was so excited about omnichannel, how we were bringing together our digital landscape with our physical stores. I started my career here within our finance and strategy team, and then actually came over to be a merchant. And as a merchant, I saw firsthand how big of an opportunity Marketplace was. So I had the opportunity to come over and run our Marketplace division for home. And here I am today. We have a team of about 60 people here running the home segment. And they're all really geared around how to get sellers working and accelerated on Walmart.
Fantastic. That's fun. And so home specifically, how did you kind of get started with home specifically, or how do we go from intern to, GM overall a home? I think that's fascinating.
It's a great question. I started here working with our home leadership from a finance and strategy perspective, learning the P&L up, down, and sideways, and learning what about all the levers that impacted our segment, and just fell in love with the category. We all live in our homes, and within COVID times, I've spent a lot more time there than I think we ever thought to. And so it's just such a critical part of our lives and our identity. And I think more importantly, especially for Walmart, home has such a high, strong connectivity with our food and our grocery business, right? So people know and come to Walmart for food and consumables. And if you're buying the coffee, you've got to buy something to brew it with. You're buying eggs, you got to buy the pan to cook it on and the table to sit in. So I just love how interconnected it is to the total business.
Absolutely. And there's so many great aspects of purchasing and buying both online and offline with Walmart. So I'm curious your opinion, kind of the current landscape of the marketplace, specifically for home, if you like, but just your thoughts on the evolution from where it was, call it 4 years ago before the whole Omni switch to today, and marketplace being a very big integral part. What are your thoughts there?
You're exactly right. Marketplace is the cornerstone of e-commerce. It's where we expect a lot of our growth to come from in the future. And we're super excited about it because it has the ability to leverage the things that Walmart does best, right? It leverages our store footprint, leverages our fulfillment centers, and it makes that possible for everyone to tap into. So, the sellers that we work with and that you work with every day, allows them to do what they do best, which is bring the best product to market, and it allows us to help them do what we do best, right? Which is showcase and bring it to market in a really cost-effective way.
Absolutely. And there are so many great ways to do that online today, thanks to the evolution of the marketplace for Walmart. So how should sellers think about leveraging their online assortment for offline growth when they think about how to get into stores, or, what is possible if I'm on the Walmart marketplace?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of depth and breadth, right? You want a group of items that you can win in, that you can really differentiate within the marketplace on. And then you want breadth, right? Because at the core of marketplace is the seller's ability to be their own merchant, right? Show the customer the things that we are missing out on, where the opportunities are. And it's this really unique opportunity to put yourself in the merchant seat for once, right? And showcase your assortment on a stage that is Fortune 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Does the marketplace team have a lot of interaction with the merchants, or how, just speaking more in depth on that, do you engage a lot with store and merchants when we talk about that online, offline assortment? Like, do you point out, hey, I saw this great new launch on marketplace and home, I think we should talk about store? What is your role in that process?
We do. It is truly one team here. You called out Omni and kind of the unification that we have there. And, marketplace is truly integrated within that merchant business as well. So, So yes, we're in dialogues very frequently with each other, and it's very exciting at this point to see marketplace items also making that evolution into the stores. And I'll call out two key examples,
Yeah.
right? We have one example of a cookware set within our cook and dine category. They actually just received a purchase order from the Walmart merchant to be on the end cap for tax time. So we're super excited for that. And Marketplace was really at the forefront of showcasing that assortment, showcasing that innovation value. And it's something that the merchants saw and are now bringing into stores. There's a second channel, an opportunity to get into stores as well, which is through our brand and our assortment spotlights, particularly the ones that we have in our store of the future. So for those in Arkansas, there's a store in Elm Springs that showcases vignettes of
Yeah.
items. And so, the rug might be from a marketplace seller, but the bed might be, something that we stock and hold in our stores or fulfillment centers. Then the mattress might also be marketplace. And I think I love that image. I love that vignette because that's truly how the customer shops, right? She doesn't see channels or fulfillment. She's looking for things that she can fall in love with that resonate with her identity of what she wants to put in her home. And we're able to bring together that story in a really visually rich way for customers.
Yeah, and I think there's some great new features on site that are allowing people, specifically for home, if I recall correctly, where you can see things in your living room, or you will be able to eventually
Yes.
do that. So can you talk to some of our audience about how to leverage some of those, and then we can kind of transition into like weekly deals and those types of things too?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I will call out about Walmart is that innovation is in our DNA going all the way back to Mr. Sam, our founder. And so we're constantly thinking about ways to do things better, to make them more exciting for the customer as well as for the seller. So you called out, the ability for us to leverage and spotlight brands through things like weekly deals. Brand spotlights is another one. Those live on our homepage. And gosh, like the opportunity for a brand to have a showcase on walmart.com. How cool and exciting is that? And that's just something that helps accelerate not just you, but your overall brand story, right? And your seller's story. I also love how we're leveraging our local assets. We have a local pickup and delivery service, including same day for sellers with physical stores, partnered by Walmart's last mile delivery network. And so we're going to be able to offer lower fulfillment costs and provide a new way for sellers to convert sales. So very excited about that. I think it really leverages the power of Walmart and the 4,600 store footprint that we have and combines that with the digital DNA that we're super excited about continuing to grow.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. Look, you're talking about the world's largest retailer, obviously. And when we think about that 90+% of this country lives within 5 miles of a Walmart, the possibilities do seem endless, especially if we skew up correctly online to pick up in store and offer up more fulfillment opportunities. So love that there. If I can just double click into one thing you said about going to store, those case studies that you mentioned, some of our clients always ask us, like, how much do I need to be doing on marketplace as an example to be even considered for store? And I know that can vary, like you can be doing $1 or $100,000, but in fact, this is a great opportunity why people should embrace marketplace, is you don't need to be doing tens of millions of dollars on marketplace to get that store opportunity. So would love some kind of validation from you if that's correct guidance, or people should be thinking about it differently.
Yeah, the channel strategy is ultimately something that we align on internally, category by category, right? So to your point, different thresholds, different objectives of what we're trying to accomplish in one category versus another. So there isn't one set rule. The best advice I can give you and your partners is, accelerate, right? Leverage all of the tools that are available to you through Marketplace, because that is truly leveraging the breadth of what Walmart has to offer. And there are things that are unique to Marketplace that only Marketplace sellers can tap into. So simply put, if you're not on Marketplace, you're not now leveraging the best of everything Walmart has to offer. And do that and accelerate. And I'm sure there will be a conversation either with you or internally that will point to a bigger path and a broader path.
Well, great segue, because one of those big feature developments over the last, 12 to 18 months, WFS, has really accelerated the growth of marketplace. Can you speak a little bit about, for just in general WFS, but then also how does home leverage that, given the nature of the size, weight, and dimension of a lot of the products, I'm sure, in your category? How are you leveraging it best there?
Yeah, we're super excited about WFS, right? Because it is another one of those core competencies. In addition to our stores, it's the ability for us to deliver last mile to the customer in a really cost-effective way. And so thrilled to be able to open that up to our seller base. WFS is something that we continue to innovate on, and in particular for the home category, we have new features. Like we've just announced the launch of multi-box, so the ability to have multi-boxed SKUs live within Walmart fulfillment centers, as well as big and bulky. So our ability to allow SKUs over 150 pounds, and that, is going to constantly pave the way for new and bigger, literally bigger categories for us to bring into the platform. And so I think just the amount of focus, the amount of innovation, and we've got, an exciting session on the general stage later this week where we'll be interviewing our heads of fulfillment and technology and how they bring everything together. Not just how we bring our fulfillment centers together for Walmart, but really how we bring them together for the total picture, including marketplace.
Yeah, and I know a lot of our partners, we encourage them to leverage WFS to get a lot of the features that get unlocked, to your point, not just with Marketplace, but the two combined are even more powerful if you're leveraging both Marketplace and WFS. There's a lot of opportunity to grow in there. And I'm sure you've seen some case studies and success of it.
Absolutely. And I would say, it's not just kind of the messaging that you're putting out there for the customers, but it's also that our best customers are there, right? Our best customers are shopping WFS through Walmart Plus. And so we love that you have the ability to reach and tap into that most coveted customer audience through our fulfillment network and the Walmart Plus offering.
Absolutely. And so before we break here, would love to get, if there's anything you can share with our audience from the future of Walmart Marketplace. So as an example, we know international is something coming down the pipe where things are being built out. So curious your thoughts on how that's going to approach from a home perspective, but any features or opportunities or things like to get our audience even more excited than they already are about Walmart Marketplace would be great.
Yeah, I think you can expect a lot of growth here, right? And it's exciting to be here with you now. I feel like we have some really strong momentum that is just kind of going to help us roll into the next few years. And so super excited for where we are as a platform, but really where we're headed too, right? To your point, we're constantly innovating. And marketplace is at the center of many of our conversations. AI has been a big topic of conversation internally, and how we kind of transition our platform to be more AI based and continue to, optimize where the sellers aren't having to do, constant attribution or spec updates, but rather AI is taking that kind of learning and helping us accelerate by implementing features into search and other platforms like that on the site. And then I think you'll see a lot of fun stuff here too, right? You mentioned augmented reality, but we definitely see a future where Walmart is a big part of the total ecosystem, and we have, features that make this shopping journey fun and easy for the customer, that enable them to really shop the true breadth of assortment that we have on our site in a really meaningful and fulfilling way.
Awesome. Well, before we leave here, are there any other comments or, thoughts that you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, I would just say thank you all for participating and listening today. We're super excited. This is our very first Walmart Marketplace Seller Summit. And so it is definitely one for the history books, and really appreciate everyone for tuning in and listening.
Awesome. And then Justine, if people want to get a hold of you or reach out, should they find you on LinkedIn, or is there a better way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's it. That's great. LinkedIn is great. Justine Van Buren.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Justine, for joining us. Really appreciate you being very generous with your time here at the summit. I know you're very busy, got a lot going on. And with that, I want to remind our audience to amplify your brand and sell more. Thanks, Justine.
Thanks.